LeBron is now ranked in individual defensive win shares, something you would have dominated. He's ranked 426th in the NBA, almost to the bottom. They're all offense, no defense.
Skip Bayless just lit a match and tossed it straight into the center of the Lakers locker room. And whether you love him or hate him, the fire he started is spreading fast. Because this time, the criticism isn't just about LeBron James missing a shot or having a bad night. It's about effort, defense, leadership, and whether the Lakers are actually contenders or just a highlight reel team living off reputation. Skip didn't hold back. He called LeBron out for playing like a liability and exposed a Lakers squad that looks elite on offense, but painfully exposed on defense.
They're ranked 18th now in points allowed. They are the worst three-point defending team in all of basketball.
Do you agree with Skip Bayless calling out LeBron and the Lakers? Or is this just another media overreaction? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me, is LeBron still carrying this team, or is he part of the problem now?
LeBron is now ranked in individual defensive win shares, something you would have dominated. He's ranked 426th in the NBA, almost to the bottom.
Let's start with a stat that shocked everyone. LeBron James, a player once feared on both ends of the floor, is now buried near the bottom of the league in individual defensive win shares. Ranked 426th. That's not just a dip, that's a collapse. For a player who built part of his legacy on being able to guard multiple positions, chase down blocks, and lock in during big moments, this stat feels like a flashing warning sign. Critics aren't asking 41-year-old LeBron to be prime Kawhi Leonard. They're asking for effort. Rotate. Instead, too often we're seeing drives go uncontested.
Luka individual defensive win shares is 240th. The Lakers have one guy in the top 100, and believe it or not, it's Austin Reaves. So all 10 of their losses are by 10 or more points. So when they get spanked, they get spanked. And their coach is calling them out, saying defense is a choice, and we don't care enough right now. That they don't care about playing defense.
And the Lakers' defensive problems don't stop with LeBron. This is a team-wide issue that's starting to define their identity. They're ranked in the middle of the pack in points allowed, but when you look deeper, it's worse. They're one of the worst teams in the league at defending the three-point line, and that's a death sentence in today's NBA. Every night, opponents are getting clean looks, open rhythm shots, and transition threes created off missed rotations. Defense isn't just about talent, it's about commitment. Right now, the Lakers look like a team that would rather outscore problems than solve them.
They have three guys in the backcourt who can just go crazy hot and score like nobody can score in the league, and that's starting with Luka, and I'll throw in LeBron and Austin Reaves. And all three of those guys have had hot-handed games where just because one guy was scoring unstoppably, they stole some games along the trail. And yet, Luka, to me, is way overrated because the problem with Luka is, and this is killing them as a basketball team, he's second in the league in three-point attempts. Second to Steph in three-point attempts.
Skip's criticism also hit Luka Doncic, and that's where things get even more interesting. Luka is a generational offensive talent, but his numbers tell a complicated story. He's near the top of the league in three-point attempts, yet hovering around 32% from deep. That puts him far from elite efficiency, and when those shots aren't falling, the Lakers are stuck with empty possessions and long rebounds that turn into fast breaks the other way. Add in the turnovers, over 4 a game, and suddenly the offensive brilliance comes with a cost.
So they're all offense, no defense, and this isn't going to turn around because as much as I love watching those three play together in the backcourt, because the IQ is just off the charts. It's the highest IQ of any three guards who have ever played. And any one of them can just go crazy hot on any given night. But Austin Reaves is the only one who even tries to play defense, and he ranks 90th in defense.
Then there's Austin Reaves, who has quietly become one of the most important players on this roster. He's not the most athletic, he's not the most hyped, but he's the one who consistently competes on both ends. Defensive win shares put him ahead of his superstar teammates, and effort alone has made him a stabilizer when the rest of the team drifts. When LeBron was out and Luka missed time, Reaves stepped up and carried stretches of games like a primary star. That stretch exposed something uncomfortable. The Lakers looked more cohesive when everyone had to move, rotate, and share responsibility.
It didn't surprise me. Houston crushed them on the boards, 48-25. Houston crushed them in offensive rebounds, 17-7, because Houston leads the league in rebound. That's what they do. So they're a nightmare matchup for the Lakers, especially on Christmas Day in LA. So I wasn't at all surprised by what I saw.
That's the part fans don't want to admit. The Lakers' best defensive stretches often come when the offense isn't centered entirely around LeBron. The ball moves more. Rotations tighten. Players fight harder for positioning. It's not about blaming LeBron for everything. It's about how the team's identity shifts depending on who sets the tone. Leadership isn't just scoring 25 points. It's diving for loose balls, calling out switches, and setting the standard for effort. When the top player conserves energy, the rest of the roster follows. And the numbers back up the eye test. The Lakers' losses aren't nail-biters. When they lose, they get blown out. Double-digit defeats. Games that spiral early and never recover. That speaks to consistency and mental toughness. Great teams bend, but don't break. The Lakers right now shatter when the pressure rises. Defensive lapses turn into runs, runs turn into panic, and panic turns into isolation offense that only makes the problem worse. Their schedule early in the season also masked a lot of these issues. They stacked wins against weaker teams and looked dominant doing it. Offense was flowing, the highlights were everywhere, and the narrative started forming that this team had figured it out. But once the competition tightened, Rockets, Suns, Thunder, Spurs, the cracks opened wide. Elite teams attacked them on the boards, exploited mismatches, and forced them into defensive situations they couldn't handle. Rebounding gaps, transition defense failures, and perimeter breakdowns became patterns instead of exceptions. The rebounding numbers alone tell a brutal story. Getting crushed on the glass isn't about talent, it's about physicality and positioning. Opponents are outworking the Lakers for second-chance points, and that drains momentum faster than anything. Every missed box out is another possession given away, another opportunity for the other team to control the tempo. Championship teams protect the paint and dominate rebounds. Right now, the Lakers struggle to do either consistently. Coaching plays a role too, and the message from the sideline has been clear. Defense is a choice. That's not a tactical issue, that's effort. When a coach publicly questions whether players care enough defensively, it's already a problem. Systems matter, but buy-in matters more. You can draw up perfect rotations and still fail if players don't commit. The Lakers' scheme isn't the biggest issue, the urgency is. And then there's the elephant in the room, motivation. Skip's argument suggests LeBron knows this could be his final season in Los Angeles and is pacing himself, focusing on offense and personal numbers rather than grinding defensively every possession. Whether that's fair or not, perception becomes reality when the effort doesn't show up consistently. Fans notice. Teammates notice. Opponents definitely notice. And once teams sense weakness, they attack relentlessly. The Western Conference isn't forgiving either. Teams like Denver, OKC, and Phoenix don't just rely on talent. They execute. They defend. They rebound. They close games. If the Lakers enter the playoffs, or even the play-in, with this defensive identity, they'll face matchups designed to exploit every weakness. High pick-and-rolls targeting slower defenders, ball movement forcing rotations, offensive rebounding that turns into dagger threes. It's not hard to see how a series could unravel quickly. Even offensively, the current approach has limits. Isolation scoring can win games in spurts, but championships are built on balance. When Luka, LeBron, and Reaves all get hot, the Lakers look unstoppable. But when one or two go cold, the lack of defensive stops becomes fatal. You can't trade buckets forever. At some point, you need stops to control momentum, and that's where elite teams separate themselves. There's also the chemistry factor. When a team leans heavily on a few stars for offense and doesn't get consistent two-way contributions from the rest of the roster, frustration builds. Role players stop cutting as hard. Defensive communication drops. energy fades. The Lakers don't look like a team fully connected on both ends of the floor. They look like a collection of talent trying to outscore structural problems. The idea of reshuffling the lineup has started gaining traction. More defensive-minded players in the starting unit, staggering minutes to maintain energy, taking pressure off LeBron to carry both ends for long stretches. But every adjustment comes with trade-offs. Add defense, you risk losing scoring. Add scoring, you sacrifice stops. Finding the balance is the real challenge, and right now the Lakers haven't solved that equation. What makes this situation even more intense is the expectations. This isn't a rebuilding team. This is the Lakers. Every season is supposed to be a title push. Every loss gets magnified. Every defensive lapse becomes a headline. When Skip Bayless calls them frauds, it resonates because the gap between expectations and reality feels massive. Fans were promised contention. What they're seeing looks closer to inconsistency. And yet, the talent is undeniable. That's what makes this so frustrating and so fascinating. Luka can control games with his vision. LeBron still has bursts of greatness that remind everyone why he's an all-time legend. Reaves continues to evolve into a dependable two-way presence. On paper, this core should work. In practice, the defensive effort hasn't matched the offensive firepower. So the real question becomes simple and brutal. Is this fixable, or is this who the Lakers are? Defense can improve quickly if effort changes. Rotations tighten, communication improves, players buy in. But if the mindset doesn't shift, no trade or lineup tweak will save them. You can't scheme your way out of apathy. The playoffs are unforgiving mirrors. They expose every weakness. They magnify every habit. If the Lakers don't establish a defensive identity before then, they won't last long once the intensity rises. Every possession matters in postseason basketball, and right now, too many possessions are being handed away. Skip Bayless may sound harsh, but sometimes the harshest critiques spark the biggest changes. Teams either respond or collapse under pressure. The Lakers are standing at that crossroads now. They can lean into accountability, tighten their defense, and prove the narrative wrong. Or they can keep relying on offensive bursts and watch the season slip away when it matters most. Because here's the reality. Talent wins games, but defense wins trust. It builds confidence. It carries teams through cold shooting nights. It defines champions. And until the Lakers decide they care about stops as much as they care about highlights, the criticism isn't going anywhere. This season will ultimately be judged not by how many points LeBron scores or how many step-backs Luka hits, but by whether this team chooses to fight on the other end of the floor. That's the difference between being entertaining and being elite, between being a playoff team and being a contender. Right now, the Lakers look like a team stuck in between. And in the Western Conference, stuck in between usually means one thing: an early exit and a long offseason full of questions nobody wants to answer. At the end of the day, the Lakers can silence every critic, every analyst, and every viral rant with one thing: consistent effort on defense and real accountability from their stars. Until that happens, the noise is only going to get louder and the spotlight harsher. But now I want to hear from you. Are the Lakers still real contenders, or is this team headed for a first-round exit? Drop your take in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more unfiltered NBA breakdowns.